This is our new space. We haven't renovated, so we don't really want to film in here, but we have a few phone calls we need to make, so we're gonna walk outside. Do you know it's nationwide? It's huge. The founder is a client of ours. He's wanting to consign a Platona and a Jacob & Co. Bugatti.
Holy mother of God.
That one, if we buy it right, will probably hold its value relatively well. This could very well be a $5,000, $6,000 trade. Which watch you're wanting to get into next, whether it be the Richard Mille. I know it was an ARM 1103. All the data, I don't have that in yet. I'm gonna be closing that deal today. And I hate to say this, but I think this watch would probably sell for around. It's actually a beautiful day, so I'd rather go outside anyways. The sun is shining, the grass is green. Let's go ahead and make some of those calls, and we'll show you guys a little bit of Monday morning business that we do. We're gonna start with a phone call with a good client of ours who has bought, sold, and consigned, done all three with us, and has actually referred others to us, which is so appreciated. I actually gave this guy a really nice tequila bottle, if you guys remember. It's the same gentleman. He prefers to not be on camera, but I'm gonna give him a quick call after this phone call. After this phone call, I'm actually gonna reach out to a local here in Southlake. We met him at Moxie's when we were doing that video that, you know, the manager came and said you can't really film. It turned into a potential sale, and here we are. So we're probably gonna be buying an AP from him. And then he's actually wanting a olive date that we just got offered one. And so I said, hey man, if you've been offered this, he's asking if we're gonna be in Southlake this afternoon. So we're probably gonna go to lunch with this guy and meet up with him. He might have his AP, we're gonna quote him. And then if I can close this deal for a 3-watch deal, one of those watches is gonna be going to this guy. So that's really a large part of this business. It's about keeping track of who wants what watch and following up with them. We got offered this olive date. I looked at our systems and I found like this guy right here, he was the first one that's been wanting this olive date. So I'm gonna reach out to him and I'm gonna see if he wants this. So, you know, it's a couple of moving parts. He's asking where the shop is. Right near Town Square, down the road from Moxie's. Okay, so let's give this first guy a call and let's see what he wants.
You have reached a voicemail.
Okay, didn't answer, that's okay. Let me give this next guy a call. You know what I need? Really, to make these calls, man, I need to sit down and I need to have a notebook with me. Like the 3-watch deal and calling with and all of that. Let me grab my notebook real quick. Hey, what's up, boss?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Bell?
Nothing much, man. My wife showed you a couple houses yesterday?
Yeah, we saw one house.
Oh, one. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of the house?
We love the house. The house checked the box.
Nice.
I think it's overpriced for what it is.
What was the price of the house?
Like 1.3.
1.3 million?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
It just didn't check the privacy box.
Ah, got it.
Literally, no privacy.
That was the problem right there. Okay, because I know that's a big deal for you. So.
It is, man. I mean, we really want privacy. And your wife has been wonderful, by the way.
Oh, has she? That's good.
Yep, we've seen 2 homes already, and she's not like pushy and like that. You know, she's like the perfect real estate agent.
Dude, she really loves what she does. She's not in it for the money as much as, I mean, she doesn't want to do it for free.
She's like, she's like the perfect real estate agent.
Man, that means a lot.
I think.
Well, I'm glad that you feel that way, and she's there to take care of you guys. That's really good to hear.
Totally.
So talk to me about what you're wanting to sell a watch or two. What are you thinking?
So I'm gonna sell one. I may sell the one I just got.
Okay. Really?
Ever since I wore it, I've gotten so many compliments on it. I've got more compliments on that watch than I've had any other watch I've worn.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
So why are you wanting to get rid of it?
Because I'll tell you why. You know, I've been after like a special dial, Eisenkaiser, however the hell you say it, dial.
Yeah, Eisenkaiser. Yeah.
I saw one, dude, with the Eisenkaiser dial, and I was like,
what'd you think?
Holy mother of God. Just the fact of how they're all different. You know, no dial's the same. Just the uniqueness of it. That watch, man. If I can get my hands on that watch, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna keep stacking up the money. If I get one out, you know, make some money on it, whatever. and I'm going to get that watch.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get it.
I can help you get it, or you can try to get one from the AD. What kind of route are you trying to go for?
I'm trying to get one from the AD.
Okay, I got you.
Unless there's a smoking deal out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that watch is so cool, man. Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, I've seen one in person. There's a reason that, you know, I mean, it's because it's a phenomenal watch, you know? It's just about whether or not the AD will get one in, you know, or not. Because they don't control.
Exactly right.
Yeah, they don't control that allocation.
No, they don't. They just, if you get one, great. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? She says she's never seen one in person.
Well, that's not a good sign.
She's been there like 10 years.
Honestly, and you know how I am. I don't push to make a buck. I try to steer you and others in the right direction. Right. In this instance, I feel like my intuition is saying you're going to wait such a long time to get that watch, if you even get it, that
yes,
you know, by the time 3-4 years goes by, you know, you could have owned it that whole time. And as long as you get a good deal, it might be worth us jumping on something. Here's what I want to know from you, though. I can find you a good deal, okay? So we can start with kind of a baseline of, look, this is kind of where they're going at. And I can put calls out. I can keep eyes out. You know, I can see different things whenever they pop up. And when a good deal pops up, I just want to know if you'd be down if I'm like, hey, if you commit to this, you know, a good deal pops up, and I can throw that number your way, and then you go, let's do it. We can jump on it and just get it done.
If the numbers are right, yes.
In that case, what we can do is we got a little bit of time. We can wait. But I think I quoted you like 54,000 or something like that for somewhere around there. I know it was a little while ago when I quoted you. So I'm assuming you're wanting to be sub 50.
Yeah, for that one, yes.
For that one. So if we can get one for sub 50, then I say let's jump on it. But that's not an easy thing to do, and I don't expect us to be able to do it. But every now and then these deals come by. And so if one does, you know, I might be reaching out. But yeah, it seems like we're probably not going to be getting one from the AD. And if we are, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, I've got two guys that are working on it from different ADs, so we'll see.
Yeah.
They say they can't, and then I get a call like a week later. Oh, by the way, here's your watch. You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
Daytona, the Pikachu I have, which I love. She's like, oh, it's like impossible to get, and fucking a month later, not even a month later, hey, I got your watch.
Yeah.
And then a week later, hey, I got your Panda. I was like, oh, well, shit.
Well, yeah, but somehow, I don't know how you do it, but you sweet talk these ADs, man, because you get offered stuff that most clients don't get offered. I'm being dead serious. Yes. So.
I know. I don't want to burn that or jeopardize that at any point, at any matter, at any level.
Yeah, I got you. We have not had a single AD relationship be hurt or compromised. With that said, that's because we take the proper precautions and we're smart about it.
Right.
We can be discreet. That's not a big deal. I don't know if I told you this. I just sold a Pikachu, the new one, the one that you have.
Oh, the one I have? No way, really?
Yeah. I literally just sold it.
I thought you'd keep that one. Remember, you were like over it.
We've implemented such a good system of bringing watches in and moving them with our client list, with our email blasts. Yes, the YouTube channel helps. Calls that are put out. I mean, we're able to move stuff. We don't want to hold on to, even if something's consigned, we don't want to hold on to it. We want to get it in and get it out without leaving money on the table. We don't want to leave money on the table, but you know, the concept of like, yeah, we'll bring it in and just put it on the website and then that's what other people do. For example, I just got offered an olive day-date, rose gold, as well as a John Mayer, the yellow gold John Mayer. You might have interest in that one, as well as a Milgauss. So it's a 3-watch deal. Before even bringing those in and even closing on it, I have a phone call with a guy in 30 minutes. He's here in Southlake, and he's looking for a rose gold day date, and he's wanting to trade in an AP. I called him up. I said, man, I just got offered this. Do you think you'd have interest? And he's like, yes, I think I'd have interest. I said, great. Let me try to close this, and then I'll call you. Doing stuff like that That's what moves pieces, and it's boom, in and out, fast, quick. So that's our MO, man. So we're not even trying to hold on to inventory for a long time. Do you know?
No, I don't think so.
No, I mean it's nationwide. It's huge. The founder is a client of ours. He's probably worth like 500 million or something like that. He's wanting to consign a Platona with us, baguette, Platona,
nice,
Platinum Daytona, and a Jacob & Co. Bugatti watch that originally was like 600 grand. Actually, I have a phone call with him as soon as we get off the phone. Let's meet up later today. I mean, I'm free probably after like 3.
I could swing by there in Southlake and bring my beautiful timepiece.
Beautiful, perfect. Hey, I'm getting a call from our security system company.
Just text me your address and then we'll meet up around after 3.
Perfect.
At your new shop.
Yeah, that sounds good, bro. All right, we'll see you then, man. All right, bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
What were the details on the piece?
Yes, it's a Datejust 41. It's the one with the gray dial on it and a diamond on it.
Where are you based?
I'm in Mansfield.
You're in Mansfield, okay. So we are in Southlake, Texas. Is that a drive that you are willing to take? I'd be more than happy to take a look at the watch and give you a second opinion on it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Like, so how much would you charge for it to, like, just, like, have a second opinion on it?
No, I could do it free of charge.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is it possible you can DM me your address? I'll just stop by tomorrow, if possible.
Yeah, tomorrow is fine. If you could just give me a time, that would be great.
Yeah, I can text you a time.
Perfect.
I can be there around Tuesday, so around 2.
2 o'clock actually should work just fine.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Our office is only a few minutes away from Southlake Town Square. It's got Starbucks and Moxie's and all that. Right now it's a little depressing. It looks like a hospital. And so what we're trying to do is potentially close the deal. It's about a 3-watch deal, and you know, we're kind of expecting to close somewhere between 116 and 120. So we offered 116.5. The client wants 120. We're not outrageously off. I mean, we're very close.
Is it olive dial day-date?
Olive dial day-date, rose gold. And then we have a John Mayer, that's a yellow gold John Mayer green dial. And then we have a Milgauss. So we're paying around 10, 5, 11 for the Milgauss. We're paying roughly around 65 for the John Mayer and roughly around 42, 43 for the olive day date. I don't know if the math checks out for that, but we're looking to make at least $1,000 to $2,000 per trade. So this could very well be a $5,000, $6,000 trade. I already have a client that I have a phone call with that wants an olive day date, and he's wanting to trade in a rose gold AP. And so it's an offshore on a strap. So I made some offers on that. The reference number escapes me. I need to go back and look at which one that was, because that was a couple months ago. But I reached out to him and said, hey, I may have an olive day date coming in. If I remember correctly, that's what you were wanting. And I wasn't even quite sure, but then he responded, said, yes, are you down for a phone call? He said, yes. So we'll call him. Maybe we'll call the other guy. And then we have one more phone call that we have. So, we got a few deals that are in the works right now. This month has been lower volume, but higher profit. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting to make the profits that we've made. We're so thankful for you guys. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for doing business with us. It really means the world. If you haven't done business with us yet, but you're thinking about it, you're kind of on the edge, reach out. We'd love to, talk, maybe see if we're a good fit with you guys. And if we are, we'd love to work with you, partner with you. Here's a good spot. We're going to sit down here, get a little bit of work done, and make some calls.
If you watch our channel often, you probably recall that a few months ago, we purchased an AP. It was a 16202 ST from a client of ours. It was the first transaction we did with that client. We gave him an outstanding price. I think we only made $500 on that entire transaction. Out of that, we had this relationship with this guy. And he had such a positive experience working with us that he actually referred us to one of his close friends, who is the owner of a very successful fast food franchise. We're gonna protect the identity of that individual. We're not gonna mention the name of the franchise, but you've probably eaten their food before. I have, I'm sure Josh has.
Yeah, they got great salads too. That's as much info
as much as we'll say. No. Anytime we get a referral, we always appreciate it, and we always realize that in this business, in this industry, referrals are so important to maintaining good relationships with customers and clients, and to get more and more watches that come in. Here's the case where we have a guy who's got several watches that he wants to consign with us, and Josh has all the details about the watches he's wanting to send in, kind of the market value of those, what we plan to do with them. So I'll let him talk about that.
And kind of like what Michael said, like, I mean, these are regular guys. Like, these are like cool guys. They're very down to earth.
He's calling right now.
Or that. Oh, there's another guy that's calling. So maybe I'll give this guy. Let me answer this one first, and then we'll call the other guy. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. If you only have a couple minutes, I just wanted to touch base with you a little bit. So the olive data, I don't have that in yet. I'm going to be closing that deal today, and probably going to close and get it in. We're really close on numbers. The reason that I reached out to you is it just kind of sparked in my mind that you had maybe thought about getting that one, but I couldn't quite remember.
It was that one, and then the yellow gold GMT2.
I remembered on the 126718. The GRNR. I remember that one. I did not remember if the olive data was the other one. Now, are you looking for either or potentially both?
Potentially both, but I mean, it could, if you have one right now and we can do the other one later, I mean, it just depends.
So here's kind of the way that it works. If I were to source you a watch, which I do all the time for clients, I can give you good deals. I can typically beat any online prices. Now, when I get offered a watch, I need to be healthy in that piece. And what I have found to make the most sense is, we don't have an infinite amount of money. When I bring a watch in for 40, 50K, if I'm bringing 10 to 20 of these in, and I'm holding on to them, that's all my cash, right? So I've got to liquidate this stuff. What we prefer to do is we prefer to get these in, reach out to clients who have had interest, and offer them good prices, because if I'm healthy, I can give it to you for a healthy price. And that's how we re-earn business. That's how we build relationships. And it's a win-win-win. No pressure at all. I don't want you to feel any sort of pressure. If you're interested, I'd love to bring this in, and then I can show it to you. And then if you're happy with price, we can move forward. If not, I'm gonna move this and push it somewhere else, and probably move it within the next 3 days or so. I don't have the watch in yet. Again, I'd love to see the AP that you're wanting to trade in. I can't quite remember the price that I gave you. It's been a little while. I need to recheck the market and see if I'm still safe at that price that I gave you. I'd love to meet up.
I don't have the AP on. I'm not wearing it today. I might be able to come by tomorrow, and I can just bring both of them by tomorrow.
Okay.
A good buddy of mine, his father-in-law is the CEO of that owns like thousands and thousands of pawn shops across the world.
Oh, very nice.
And I've got an idea that I'm kind of messing around with, of partnering with him on opening a boutique like that. Not necessarily focusing on watches, because that's not really, I mean, I like watches for personal use, but more so focusing with it being the Southlake market, resale of like Louis Vuitton and Chanel and Birkins, things like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we could definitely.
It might be.
Yeah, that could work hand in hand.
It might be something. It might be something we can talk about, and because a lot of the clients that you guys are going to have are going to be the same type of clients that this place would have.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd be down for a conversation, man. If you're down for it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, we'll plan for 3. If that changes, just let me know, but I'll put it on the calendar.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it, boss. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I was catching a little bit of that, and then I had to go blow my nose, but
So he's like, look, I'm looking to partner with, I think is what it's called. Yeah. He's like, but some of their higher end stuff, bringing that in. It's like they do watches, but mostly Louis Vuitton bags, but it's the same clientele.
Yeah, they need someone to offload.
Immediately, my mind goes to watches, memo to us, pop-up events, and then, of course, he has a couple watches that he wants to sell and get into. So, that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and call this other guy.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
So we're about to have a phone call with a gentleman that's worth about $500 million. Now, I don't feel prideful. I don't feel like I deserve that. I don't feel like, we're on these guys' level or anything of that nature. It's very humbling. I don't want you guys to think that we think like, oh yeah, we're having these conversations with these big dogs because we're big dogs. You know, we know that what we do is a service, and we're able to provide this service for those that have been hyper successful in their own fields. And it's such an honor, and it's such a cool thing, and it's such a great opportunity to be able to talk with these individuals and, you know, have these clients that just keep coming back to us, and they have all the money in the world. They can go to anybody and everybody that they wanted to, but they choose to come to us. And that is so awesome. So to all of you who have done that, thank you so much for choosing to work with us and trust us with your transactions, and trust us to work with you and partner with you. It absolutely means the world. You know, with that said, I'm going to try to give this guy another call and see if we can just talk a few things out with this specific deal, and then we'll go from there. I realized we do have one more call. It's the guy for the rose gold day date and that 3-watch deal. Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Is this a good time or?
This is good.
Awesome, cool. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I wanted to just get a few feels out there. I've done a deep dive into the market. I've come up with my numbers and my analysis on these things, but I wanted to take a few moments with you, talk those numbers over, and if you had any questions or if you weren't quite sure, you know, we can just kind of have that open dialogue. Are you wanting to consign all of these, or are you wanting to select out of these? What are your thoughts on that, and what's your objective? It seems that you're wanting to sell these pieces to get into some other ones, because I know that we talked about some RMs. I know that you sent me a few other kind of off-brand type pieces. Is that kind of the goal, to sell these and then get into some other ones?
That's the goal, yes.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Let's get the smaller ones kind of out of the way in terms of the conversation. Breitlings are a niche market, especially gold Breitlings. Now I know that one of these was new, one of these was about 10 years old. When I came up with these numbers, you know, I could come up with sky high numbers. We could shoot for the moon. The problem with doing that is that, with my experience, they tend to be a little bit slower movers. And so as long as we're managing our expectations with that, if we shoot for the moon, these watches aren't going to move. That's just the reality of it. So for the green gold chronomat, that one I want to move for 16,000. I think 16,000 is a good price. We're not leaving money on the table, but we're not top dollar. If we go top dollar, no one's going to feel like they're getting a good deal. They could just get it anywhere else. I think 16,000 is a really solid number on that one. And then for the Breitling Bentley on bracelet, that one I want to aim for 20K. If we go below 20,000, I think we're leaving money on the table. If we try to go any higher, again, I just think we'd be aiming too high.
You think if we talking about the solid gold one?
The solid gold one, yeah. Now I'm sure that with these you may see some of these online for more. You may see them get listed at, you know, XYZ, but that's kind of why you call me. Is that what I do is I don't see necessarily what they're being listed at online. What I do is I go on the back end and I see where they're actually going to be moved at, and where we could actually sell these pieces. So 20,000, again, if we want to aim higher, we could maybe go up a couple thousand, but I really don't think that it'd be a smart move. And I really don't want to bring these watches in unless I feel like we could actually move them. And it's not a lack of ability on my end. It's just more so a price. It's a price issue. So if we try to aim for higher, you know, we're going to reach the people that are going to be the buyers. It's just what's going to whet their palate and actually want them to move on these pieces. Now the Platona, you'll see these kind of listed all over the place. Now what I landed on was slightly sub 110, so we're looking at about 108,000. I think if we go above 110, we're going to be aiming a little bit higher, where it's probably not going to move. Again, if we're waiting, if we could wait 6 months, I mean, we could give it a shot. I think 108 is a really solid price for that one. And then you also sent the 16618 Certi, SERTI. It's the Certi dial. Now that one is watch only. It still has pretty good value on it, assuming all of that is in fact factory, which I have no doubt that it is. There's a little bit of a range here. I think we could aim anywhere between 23,000 and 26,000. I know it's kind of a wide range there, but there aren't a tremendous amount of comps out there for that one, especially naked. And so that's kind of why we have that range, but we can kind of price it how we want. And it's really just hoping that we find the right buyer for it, which I think we can, especially at the right price. Now, I want to save this one for last because I think we need to have a little bit more of a conversation on this one. So the Jacob & Co. Twin Turbo Furious Bugatti. What's the story behind that one? When did you get it? I mean, I'm assuming you bought it from Jacob & Co. What were your goals when buying that watch? Just kind of what's the story behind that one?
I looked at that watch for a long time,
Yeah.
and that was my first Tourbillon.
Tourbillon.
I wanted just something that's really unique and rare that no one else had.
That's about right.
And that's why I purchased it. And then when I got it, I realized, because I didn't see it in person, I only seen it online, it's just so massively big.
Yeah.
It's actually too big for my arm, for my wrist.
It is a big watch. I believe it's a 48 millimeter or something like that. So it's a very substantial piece. Yeah.
So for that reason, I have never worn it. It has strictly been in the case, in the safe, ever since I purchased it. Probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
I purchased it.
Now, did you purchased it directly from Jacob & Co., correct?
I did.
Okay, and your out the door was somewhere around $580 plus tax, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but there's a significant haircut on this watch. Now, I don't know if you were expecting that or not, but with some of these pieces, you win some, you lose some. With Jacob & Co., just to give you kind of an understanding, even if they don't make this watch anymore, if someone were to go to Jacob & Co. and literally talk with Jacob specifically himself and say, look, I'd like this watch, can you make an exception? It's probably going to cost him like $30,000 to make that watch. He's not going to deny them. He's going to make it. And so in terms of actual supply and demand, there's not a lack of supply, like theoretically speaking, with these watches. There are online, but not really. I mean, if someone has, the $500,000 to spend on this watch, they're going to want to go to Jacob & Co. Themselves. They're going to want to meet Jacob himself. And so, when paying for this watch gray market, what you get is you get that significant haircut, unfortunately, and that's what I wanted to talk with you about. Now, there's not any comps online at all. The one that I found the comp on was was an all gold casing. Again, theoretically, you're kind of looking at probably a $50,000, $100,000, well, not $100,000, probably about a $50,000 difference between the two if that one sells. So the carbon fiber does go for a little bit less. Now, it's listed online for $580. It's not going to be sold. That's not going to sell there, not even close. With there not being any comps, it's very hard to price this watch. But selling pieces similar to this and to clients similar to this, and they're not going to go to Jacob & Co. and they're going to go secondary. My intuition and what I think is that anywhere between maybe, and I hate to say this, but I think this watch would probably sell for around $250,000 to $300,000. If we try to aim for more, it's probably not going to sell. And the only way that this watch is going to move is that if someone who's buying it, A, they're willing to spend that amount of money, but they want to make sure that they're getting a good deal so they don't go to Jacob & Co. themselves. And then B, they feel like they could have positive equity in the watch the moment they buy it. And I think that's the only way that we can actually move this specific piece. So
the high end on this watch is probably $250.
I think the high end is probably $300. The likely movability price is around $250. Just going with previous deals with other watches that we've moved, because we have moved watches in the $200,000 to $500,000 range before. Jacob & Co's are just they're very niche pieces. I mean, it's the very reason that you're selling it. I mean, it's a 48 millimeter. It swallows my wrist, and so with that very niche, unique buyer, I mean, it's going to take some special pricing and some special marketing to get it moved. We're definitely going to get the eyes on it. There's no question about that. It's just more so is the price going to be appropriate in order to get it moved. That's really why I wanted to call instead of just text you and just say, hey, we're looking at $250 to $300, because I don't want you to be like, what in the world? I'm losing $300,000 on this watch. That would be that's just the nature of it.
I guess my first question would be, so a watch like a Richard Mille, I think I sent you 3 or 4 watches.
You did, yeah.
And the price ranges on those, I think you said range anywhere from $200 all the way up to $350, $400.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are APs, they're Rogers, and they're Mills.
Yep.
So, do those watches at that price point, do they hold their values better?
The Roger Dubois, you're probably going to take a haircut on that over time. Those don't tend to hold their value as well. What we've seen with the AP, it's a beautiful watch. It's a tourbillon. That one, if we buy it right, will probably hold its value relatively well. That's a difficult question for me to answer, and I always hate answering it because I don't have a crystal ball. But what I can do is I can say, look, in the past, here's the volatility that we've seen, and in the future, we can guesstimate roughly what these pieces are going to do in the future, given the past volatility, given the past market. Richard Mille, if bought right, those have continuously been on the rise over time. If we were to get a Richard Mille, depending on the proper one, I don't see a 50% haircut, and I don't think I'm going to eat my words by saying that. The AP market has been a little bit more volatile, and that's actually the most expensive piece that you're wanting to get into. I think the Roger Dubois would be a mistake, personally, unless you're really sold on it. And I think those are the three that you had sent me, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So, what would you say are? I think I've just heard you say it. There's like the 5 best brands you can kind of count on as minimizing your loss, which is Rolex, Patek, Mills, and APs. I
would certainly recommend, if you can buy it right, Richard Mille. I would definitely recommend Rolex if you can buy it right. Patek Philippe, certainly. AP, you can be safe in it, but again, with some past extreme volatility, it's kind of hard to. Right now it seems that the market's low, and so if it skyrockets back up again at some point, maybe you can make some money on it.
I think the goal is to buy it, enjoy it, and hopefully minimize your loss on it if you decide to trade out of it.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah,
I don't look at it as that much of an investment in terms of getting a return.
Right.
I just don't want to lose my tail.
We have a little bit of time. If we're trying to move these pieces and then get into some other pieces, it seems to me that we have a little bit of time before we really decide on which watch you're wanting to get into next, whether it be the Richard Mille. I know it was an ARM 1103, which I just sold an ARM 1103 Felipe Massa. It was just like the one that you won, except it had the black crown. It wasn't the yellow crown, but it was virtually identical to that watch. That's a very nice piece. They're not very heavy. I don't know if have you tried on and worn Richard Mille before?
I have not.
You have not? Okay. So it can be a little underwhelming. It is much more of a status symbol than it is a watch that feels like it's worth its value. When you put one on, it does feel a lot lighter, and as a result, what happens is it just doesn't quite feel as substantial. If you do have the opportunity, or if we can give you the opportunity to try one on, that might be a smart idea. That would be my advice. Obviously, sleep on it a little bit.
Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time today and appreciate the conversation. Let me think about what I want to do and which of those I want to try to move. And then in the meantime, I'll try to find a place where I can go try on a Richard Mille to make sure that's really what I want before you pursue it for me.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. No pressure either way. I'm just happy to kind of give you your numbers and just so that you have a good baseline to start with. And then if you decide to move forward, just let me know and I'll make the process really easy for you.
I'm headed out of town for the rest of this week, but I'll be back next week and I'll give you a ring.
Okay, cool, yeah.
All right, I appreciate it.
Boss, appreciate it. Talk soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.